Hello and welcome back to With Your Family Wisdom at ppptime.com. And today we will be talking about how to get the best of your sword therapy. And backed by popular demand, so many people have responded who are considering doing the sword therapy. And so we wanted to do a follow up from the last video. And so, as you can see, my name is Rose, and
My name is Daryl.
we're going to be talking about Daryl's journey through the sword therapy, which about how many months have you been doing it now?
Probably pretty close to a year.
Almost a year. And so this is going to be a follow up from the last video because we had a little snack in the last video, and we talked about something that happened, and so we'll drop that link. And if you want to know what happened during the other video, so we're just going to make sure you don't go through the same thing that he went through. So we're going to share with you how to get the best out of your sword therapy. So the first thing you may have saw him do on the video was he calibrated the system.
Yeah, when it first comes on, you'll go through a calibration, lifting one leg at a time. In my case, I was doing the therapy because of a knee. You might be doing it because of shoulder or something else, but I was doing it because of my left knee. And so I had to raise up each leg while it calibrates. This is significant because at any given time throughout your exercising, you feel that you did the range of motion and you did the move correctly and it didn't pick it up and it dinged you immediately, you may need to recalibrate the machine. That's significant because you want to be able to see if you're progressing or not. And so it's scoring you, it's giving you a number score as well as 5 stars with every repetition that you take, and it's graded based upon that range of motion. But if it's dinging you right off the bat, you automatically being dinged and scored against. So
And it probably
calibration
needs calibrating.
and
And
calibrating.
also, you were saying that on the monitor, while you're doing those motions, it has 5 stars beside that exercise. And
It shows up with every rep that you do in that exercise.
based on how many stars light up, it lets you know how well your range of motion is. So it's kind of grading you from 1 star as not very good to 5.
Right, you got a potential
Get it
of
correct.
5 points per rep, right? So like if you're doing 12, that'll give you 60 points. You can get a potential 60 points, so it's grading you the whole time. So it's based off of range of motion. But if it ding you, you might just get 1, or it might say you did an error, or you bent your knee, or you keeping your knee straight, and it's telling you that keep your knee straight. And then when it does that, it'll go right to the next. Like you're supposed to be doing your left leg, it'll go right to your right leg instead of, grading you. So instead of getting all the way into the workout, just go ahead and recalibrate and continue on.
That's great. And so you also want to talk about when you first decided to reach out to your company in order to do the sword therapy. By that time, you had really kind of made a commitment that you were going to do this.
Right.
So that's another thing you really have to think about, making a mental commitment to doing the sword therapy.
You really have to make a mental commitment to doing the sword therapy. I say that from a standpoint of committed to doing the sword therapy in the first 12 weeks, but also in the maintenance part. I really found out that if you don't maintain doing the maintenance part, which is what you're seeing me do right now is the actual maintenance program. My actual first 12 weeks was so much harder than what I'm doing right now. But this will actually maintain your range of motion if you stay committed throughout even maintenance. So you have to make a dedication. You have to really commit to sticking with the whole program. That means doing the 12 weeks and your maintenance. And I say that because if you're having problems because of a certain muscle not developed. In my case, the quad, the hamstring, and the calf, and possibly the ankle was weak from not doing the bending movement like I should and walking stairs and things like that. I stopped doing that because I hurt my knee one time, and instead of me lightening the load when I did my squats, I just quit squatting and bending all together. And so that muscle, those muscles around that knee, again, the calf, the hamstring, and the glute, just became weak. And so the knee is the weak link, that continued to get bad. So anyway, going through the exercise program as well as the maintenance develops that muscle. So that's why you must stay consistent and let that muscle develop, and that'll help you get that range of motion that you're looking for.
Right. So you really want to make sure that you mentally have made up your mind to stay committed
throughout both
through the
12 weeks.
For the 12 weeks. Because I can remember you
And the maintenance.
kind of got busy on your job at one point, and you kind of you missed a few times.
Right. And they always going to be encouraging you to, hey, get on back in there. Get on back in there. So to your point, you have to, if you have to communicate with the people on your job, your boss or whatever, you got to get it in. You know what I'm saying? It's if you're going to get better, you got to be consistent.
Right. And so another thing that's, after you make your mental
commitment,
and now it's all about the consistency, about how many days a week you're going to do it. And I think that's kind of going back to what you were saying at the beginning about the calibration, and it's grading you on your movements. Because through your consistency,
you're going to get better range of motion. Right.
And you'll probably get those 5 stars.
Yeah, so, eventually you'll get them 5 stars, and you'll feel the pain become less. You're graded at the end, too, as far as your how the pain that you had, as well as how excellent it picked up the movement. But to your point, the range of motion gets better and better the more consistent you are doing the training.
Right. So another thing, if you really want to get the best out of your sword therapy, so we talked about calibration, we talked about making a mental commitment, and then we talked about the consistency. Because I think in the prior video, because you haven't did it long enough, so your range of movement wasn't that great, but you were adamant about getting the 5 stars, and so we kind of ran into a little snag. So so it's all about being patient and being consistent, and as you do it over time.
And that brings up another thing about really being controlled in the movement. Don't yank with your weight trying to do the movement. Just use control with that particular muscle, because you're trying to isolate that muscle and get it better. So say, for instance, like this muscle right here, as you see me squatting, doing one leg squats to the side, just go down it, with what you can go down with, and keep the other leg straight and keep the movement correct. Use control so you won't hurt yourself, because to Rose's point, my hamstring gave me some trouble as a result of doing one of the moves that we did earlier, and stretched that hamstring a little too much because I was yanking it with my weight and using velocity more than control. So you want to use control in the moves, get good range of motion that you can tolerate, and you'll see your numbers get better and better.
Right. And I think one of the greatest things about it was the communication factor that you had, with the therapist.
This is the move right here. Actually, here's the exercise right here. As you see me going backwards, you should just go back with control. Don't yank it with your weight and kick your leg. Just bend over, use control, and try to get good range of motion, but under control.
And what do we always say? Inconsistency.
Inconsistency lies the power. Inconsistency, not inconsistency, but inconsistency.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 words.
Doing it often.
Yeah, doing it often. And you get that range of motion together, and the your pain threshold.
And how important is it to contact the therapist if you feel like something is wrong, or wanting to know about a session prior to?
Right, communication is actually key. Whether it's pain related or whether it's got to do with preparation for the particular workout they're going to have you do, because sometimes those workouts change, and it does you good to know ahead of time what equipment you're going to need for that particular workout. But from a standpoint also of what's going on in your body, you got to communicate with your therapist, because I think the statement "no pain, no gain" is overrated. You don't want to be working through a pain and making yourself worse if you feel something going on in your body that you need to communicate with them. When I had that problem with my hamstring, I wasn't familiar with that. I've had Charlie horses, but I never had something just pop in my hamstring like that. And when I talked to them, they actually modified the workout to be a little more gentle on that hamstring until it got back together. Got better. So I think that's awesome. Communication is key. It makes you feel confident to continue on. And again, it helps you be prepared for the workout as it approaches.
So overall, how's your experience been now? Now we know before when we did the other video, you were about 6 weeks in, 4 to 6 weeks, and so that's when we kind of ran into that snag, right, trying to get familiar with the sessions and equipment that you need, and getting comfortable with motion, and
learning
not to mention using muscles that you hadn't used in a long time. Right. So, but now after it's been about 6 months, 7 months. How would you say your experiences overall now has been, now that you're in the maintenance phase?
In the maintenance phase is absolutely awesome, because you went through, to be honest, in my case, the reason why I'm stressing being consistent is because I fell off and quit doing my maintenance, and I noticed that the knee started hurting again. So I understand now what muscles the program is building. So as I go into doing my maintenance, I'm seeing that muscle get back strong again, because my natural life, now that I'm retired, I'm not as active in using the muscles in my daily work anymore. So now the maintenance program has become very important to keep me bending and doing the things that I need to do to keep the muscle strong. But when you do that and keep the muscle strong, now the knee starts feeling better, and I understand it all. So it's great. I would give it a 10. Another thing that makes me grade it so high is now I understand the equipment. Like I said before, the ability to stop it and calibrate it, where I was frustrated at first when it was dinging me and I'm doing the things right. I'm doing all the exercises correct. I thought I was. Sometimes it would be correct and sometimes it would be wrong. And so if you feel like it's not reading you right and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you can recalibrate it and it will do great. So it was a process to become familiar with the equipment as well. So I would give it a 10.
Mm-hmm. So what exercise or what are we working on right now while you're sitting?
Right now we're doing a couple of chair moves. Right now this is for the range of motion on the knee. You kind of just sit with your knees. See, it's calibrating now. It's telling you need to have your knees close, and you go back as far as you can to get that range of motion of bending the knee. Pretty easy. And the exercise before, you do the range of motion the other way by kicking your leg up.
And that's a good example of wanting to know what the session is going to be about prior. Like you sitting in a chair. You need to know that you're going to need a chair.
You're going to need to know you need the equipment of a chair, right? Because you might thinking, this is going to be all on the floor and up against the wall. And next thing you know, I need a seat. Or one time I was doing the workout and they said, you need a step. You know what I mean? Like a step. My step is in another room. I have to run and get the step. It's dinging me. And, so you lost a lot of points, and the points meant something to me at the time because I was trying to get the best score I could possibly get early in the game instead of realizing that, it's progression. But anyway.
And it's not about points, it's about getting
it's
healed.
it's about getting better, getting well,
But the point is
getting that range of motion.
Step. How many people may not?
They might not even have a step,
Might
right?
not even have a
I
step.
just so happened to have a step, right? I went and purchased one for another exercise I was trying to do to get involved in, and so I just happened to have a step, right? So you're absolutely correct. Right now, we're doing a range of motion on that left knee, just sitting on the floor, just bending it all the way back, and it's rating that range of motion.
And we will drop the link to the others, to the beginning sword therapy.
Mm-hmm. Like right now.
And this in the description, so you can see the then and now, how well and comfortable you look now. Before you looked almost stressed out. You look like you look really tense.
Mm-hmm.
All the movements wasn't as smooth.
Mm-hmm.
They were like yanked and jerked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to see the difference.
Now this exercise here is one of my favorites for that actual glute that we're about to start right now. You actually have your knees bent and you bend one leg up, starting with the right leg here, and you just raise up using the hamstring and the glute. It works deep into that glute to get it really work that glute, because I found out that my glute was really weak because I stopped squatting, which is a great exercise for your glute.
And I think you're going to try to do maybe one short video, maybe a month, if you can. So don't forget to like and subscribe to With Your Family Wisdom to see more of the sword therapy videos. Don't forget to hit that bell so you'll get notified when the next video come out, because we don't know how often these will be put out, but we do want to go ahead and let you know how our year's journey has been with the sword therapy, because I think your year will be coming up this summer, maybe about June. It'll be a year for you. And so we'll just keep posting all the way up into June. Like he said, he's in the maintenance phase. And he'll just keep letting you know how it's going.
And I know some of you, since we did that other video, probably already started your therapy. With that in mind, if you've already started, hit us in the comments and let us know about the experiences that you're having and any questions that we may be able to answer for you from our experience. But we'd be interested to know what actual body part they have you working on, or that you might be recovering from, and any information you have on that. And so that would be awesome.
And how was your therapist? Because you seem to have one that was very informative and
accessible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, you got back to you really quick.
Exactly. Now, this is another move I like to go deep into that glute. I found that you could even do it in the bed. And so it's awesome, man. Awesome. This was so hard at first, just to get 12 reps in. But it just shows you how strong that glute can get from those little exercises.
Well, again, this is Woodruff Family Wisdom at ppptime.com. And we do have a few more exercises to go. And you are welcome to watch the remainder of this video and the remainder of the session. And so
but
you
make
can
sure
enjoy.
you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get all the videos that'll be coming your way from Woodruff Family Wisdom at ppptime.com.
And remember, consistency is the key to your success. And you are
happy, healthy, wealthy, fit, and forgiving. God bless.
side. And we're going to see how